Clear answers and direction is something that has always been very, very important to me. But we haven't had very much of that in the past few weeks. And in fact, as we try to get back to normal, as we try to start assembling and worship and start going back in public and getting back to restaurants and things like that, it's become a little murky as to what the rules actually are. Each state has its own set of guidelines. Some states have been hit harder with the virus than others, and so we've got to pay attention to where we are and what our state is saying. But sometimes stuff like this, there's really no clear direction. I've been, and I can remember being in boot camp at Parris Island, South Carolina. Following orders there was essential. And a lot of people tell me, they ask me about boot camp and becoming a Marine, and they say, "Oh, I bet that was so difficult. I bet that was hard." And I'll tell them, "No, it really wasn't. It was actually one of the simplest times of my life." You know why? Because I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to worry about necessarily I had to worry about the next thing. All I had to do actually was what my drill instructor said as fast as possible, and I was okay. Wouldn't life be so much easier if we just kind of didn't have to make choices? We didn't have to make decisions? With someone just to kind of tell us what to do all day? I know we can joke around and say, "Well, I've already got that at home." No, I'm talking about really, what if we had no choice? It would not be preferable, but it would be easier. It wouldn't be easier for us to have just a burning bush to tell us what to do. You think about the burning bush, and you think about what Moses was dealing with and what he had to do when he saw the burning bush. Very simply, in Exodus chapter 3, verse 4, when the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, "Moses, Moses." And Moses said, "Here I am." You know, at least from time to time, we would all wish for a burning bush, wouldn't we? We would all wish for a place to go so that God will tell us exactly what to do. Maybe you're thinking about a job change. Maybe you're thinking about how a burning bush would tell you exactly what you should do. Maybe you want to know, and I hold this personally right here, maybe I want to know how to guide my children to do the right thing with their life. A talk with a burning bush would be easier. Are you thinking about marriage, retirement, moving, saying yes or saying a simple no? The burning bush is your answer. There you could meet with God, you could ask Him what to do, and He would tell you in no uncertain terms. That would actually be pretty refreshing and wonderful. Unfortunately, though, we don't have that opportunity. Without a burning bush, how can we know what to do? Without something like that kind of clear direction, how can we know what kind of choices to make in our lives? Well, let me offer you 3 suggestions very quickly this morning. Number 1, the clear answer is in the Bible. You may not think that, but it is. Sometimes we can find a direct command that tells us exactly what we should do. Should you become a Christian? Should you serve in the church? Should you serve your family? The Bible directly answers those questions and other questions. And it emphatically says yes. But first, read your Bible. In the second place, open doors. Sometimes you may try, and you may try, and you may try, and you may try, but things just don't work out. Perhaps God has another plan for you. Perhaps He's trying to tell you something. When I interviewed for a job over 10 years ago, not here at Graymere, there were many different obvious signs that God wanted me to go in that direction. God did not come down, especially didn't come down in a burning bush and tell me exactly what to do. But He just opened doors. And so look for the open doors that God is trying to tell you, as well as be aware of the closing doors. Unfortunately, we spend so much time crying over the closed door sometimes that sometimes we miss what door God has opened for us. And finally, number 3, listen to the counsel of godly people. Listen to the counsel of godly people. If you don't know what to do, talk to a godly man or woman who has walked your path before. It's a comfort to me that nearly 100%, I would say probably every single thing that I've endured, somebody else has endured before. Everything and every difficulty that I've experienced, somebody has gone through something like it or something exactly like it before. We don't need to live our life like we're the only one who ever faced any kinds of issues or problems. We tend to do that. We tend to internalize and say, this is only happening to me, and it's not. Perhaps God doesn't give us a burning bush, but what He does is give us answers in His Word. My challenge for you today is to look for them.